Well then. Elma's true form. However you felt upon seeing the real me, I won't pry for now, but if you're not opposed to adventuring with me in my true form, I'd be happy to oblige. It's entirely up to you. Well, where to next? This planet still abounds with mystery, and you can... Great Blade's reward. You've carved your name into Blade history, so I've readied some special missions that'll make earning money, experience, and blah 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 better. So we can actually go to, just like the game settings, not social, system, and go to Elma's appearance and pick true form. Like, I mean, it's weird not to, right? And I am going to get that incredible alien thong that she had on, but I gotta make it first. So before I did anything else, I wanted to get all my classes up to 10, and I wanted to get everyone's levels up to 60 and equip them with regional armor, just so I wouldn't have to worry about it later. So I've been just doing this. This is how I level up. I'll show you the Ares 90 in a minute. Well, I mean, that's it. Okay, so Ares 90. Isn't that the sexiest thing you've ever seen? So Ares 90, you cannot change any of the armor or weapons. It's got 4 attacks, so it's not that good for soul voices. But the it's the catch because it's just so damn powerful. And it's just got 2 ether attacks, 1 extremely powerful ether attack. This can one-hit most of the extremely powerful tyrants in the game. This one I just pretty much use for everything. Then it's got thermal damage, ranged inflict blaze, and physical damage from the front boost damage. So most of the time I can just one-hit everything with here. You have to be conscious of your fuel. But I do have some augments that, you know, help a little bit. I might adjust those later. I don't actually have that many augments. I just kind of put what I... Let's adjust it like this. And so we can augment stuff all we want, but we cannot change any of the armor or weapons. So the Ares 90 works for pretty much everything, but there is some tyrants, some very high-level tyrants later in the game where we are going to, like, a custom level 60 Skell is going to be better suited. Let me show you a little bit of the Ares 90. So it kind of like awkwardly shuffles a little bit when it walks. And then it starts skating. That's really cool. It feels very smooth to control this thing. Transforms. It's really cool. So yeah, this is what I use for pretty much everything. Enemies ahead, deals ether damage from the side, boosts damage.
You messed with the wrong secretary.
A Gosser cannon.
I'll put him down.
And that hits 3 times, so.
Here I thought I had nowhere else to go.
From the front. Ha ha! Vajra Flail! And Avatar a missile. Okay, so there is a different Ares, and it's the Ares 70. But honestly, it's not worth creating. because it takes like slightly less Maranium um, and parts to craft, but it's not as good. So like, there's no reason to. You might as well just stick it out and get the Ares 90. So yeah, once you beat the game, you get all these level 60 skulls. We'll customize our own later. And we have to build it. We can't buy it. Look at this fat skull. It's so big. Man. Okay, and this is... The markings are a little different, but of course you can adjust all those anyway, and then the Ares 90. So... Don't worry about the Ares 70. It's useless. The Ares 90 is what you want. It takes 1,000 Maranium. And I already did this ahead of time, but you need almost all the storage probes and almost all the duplicate probes. The only duplicate probe I haven't gotten is the one that you get from completing the Cauldros Collectopedia. So this is how I have it set up. There are a couple other ways you can customize it, but that's how I like to do it. That's what we are going to stick with for now. As far as the equipment goes, Ares 90, we can actually make another one. Let's do that. So yeah, I'm gonna get 4 of these because complete overkill. So golden Yggdrasilith heart, maybe that's a rare drop from the Yggdrasilith, but I just bought it with tickets. Silver Vita Core, I think you can get those from a time attack. Best bought with tickets. Crude Nelna Mask, best bought with tickets. And Satyr Control Device, you can get Satyr Control Device, Advanced Core, and Upgraded Lens you can get from various mechanical enemies in Cauldros. Look it up. So yeah, but you want to use your tickets on the first 3 ones, and it does take a lot of tickets. But Satyr Control Device, Advanced Core, Upgraded Lens you can get from powerful mechanical enemies. So yeah. The only skill I haven't unlocked right here is Bose's, which is a level 30 and it sucks. So I haven't worried about it at all. But, okay, what was I saying? So yeah, we'll worry about customizing our own later. But for now, the Ares 90 is where it's at. So I need to go get Fog, actually. And, because I want to get him to level 60. Because I'm crazy.
About that.
And I want to level up everyone before I even start worrying about it. Before I even, start worrying about, like, doing the rest of the game. Where is Fog? I know he's somewhere around here. And I know I have to do... Lin, you're up there. Can I reach her without the skull? Hello.
You like it here too? Hey, Bloom. I was just staring up at the Manon ship. Isn't it incredible? I wonder how the Manon ever discovered that technology. That thing is so huge, and it isn't even flying. It just kind of floats. It makes virtually no noise and runs off of an extremely clean energy source. With everyone's help, I was able to finally complete the Skull Flight module. But us humans are still a ways off from being able to match the Manon on the technology front. I've seen a lot of ganglion tech that impressed me too, you know? Like that Zoofarg, I think it was called. Yeah, we're nowhere near being able to add flight capabilities to such massive machines. I'd love to pay a visit to the labs at Meredith & Co. or Candid Incredible. I bet I could learn a few things. At this rate, that's not likely at all. It could take decades or even centuries to replicate those technologies. And while we're playing catch-up, the Manon and Ganglion will develop newer and better things. So, to help speed things along, even if only a little, I need to learn all I can while we have experts here who are able to teach us. Once we catch up, hopefully we can start putting our own human spins on their technology. Anyway, I hope I'm not worrying you. I haven't been working on this stuff night and day or anything. I'm taking some occasional time off. Alma's been on my case about it. She says I'll burn myself out if I don't relax more. What, for the entire day? Huh, that does sound pretty relaxing. But I'm not sure if I could be away from my machines for so long. Like, if I went to the park, there'd be cars driving around, right? Or if I went to see a movie, who knows what sort of fantastical technology might come up in the story. And then I'd find myself wondering what makes them tick and how I can improve them. And then, blammo, I'm back at work. Happens every time. I thought that once I completed the flight module, I'd be okay not working on anything for a while. But completing it was so thrilling that it made me want to start working on upgrades. Honestly, just having this conversation makes me want to run home and grab a wrench. Anyway, I'm gonna go check on the skulls. See you back at the barracks.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about the outfit I'm wearing. Let's equip this so you can see it better. Wait, first let's do Fog's Heart-to-Heart.
Look at the stars.
Oh, hello, Bloom. I've been counting ants. Bose told me that when he meditates, he focuses his thoughts on a single thing. I decided to focus on counting ants. Much to my surprise, it has proven to be a profound experience. These ants are every bit as resilient as the ones back on Earth. There wasn't a single ant on the white whale, and yet Mira's ants have already found their way here and managed to construct a nest. And now these tiny creatures live in this giant city. Let's celebrate the ants! I too find myself rooting for these ants to survive. I'm glad you feel the same way, but the thing is, you stepped on 5 of them when you came over to talk to me. Aww. Okay, so. This is a variant on the outfit that Alma wears. And she's not automatically equipped with it. You have to make it. I collected all the necessary items and tickets. Thank you, Bloom. Thank you for accepting me as a friend, even now that you know my true nature. If you ever need my assistance, please just ask. Anytime, any place.
Stay sharp.
New LA is my home now. Let's do all we can to make it a better place.
So, yeah. And this is a, you also craft the costume that I am wearing. I love it. It's like sexy but unique. I mean, of course it's based off of the loosely based off of the Cosmos V3, which is sob Xenosaga references. And I mean, I heard someone say the other day, like, oh, I love Cosmos V3. It's a shame she wears it for, like, only a fourth of Xenosaga Episode 3. But, I mean, at least it was memorialized in this game. And the thing that it is... So you unlock it when you beat the game, and it is the... Well, Elma's is the regional comm, and of course we don't need the comm at all. It looks completely different on men. It's just regular armor on men, which is fucking cowardly. They should have made it sexy too. So it's the regional plastron, bangle, cords. Regional is black, that's the default. That's the one that Elma is wearing in the cutscene and that I put her in now. Regal is red, that is what I'm wearing. Infinite is blue, and true is gold. So... Alright, well, I'm gonna get everyone else up to level 60 because I'm insane. And then, I think we're gonna work on getting, recruiting Mia. So you might be thinking, wow, Bloom, that's so amazing, you have an Ares 90, but that's wrong. I don't have an Ares 90. I have 4 of them. So, I don't actually, plan to have every Ares equipped to my entire party at a time, but I wanted 4 of them just in case just in case that like, so I know I could do it if I really wanted to, but I'm not usually gonna do that. It would be a waste of fuel, because like party members, they eat up fuel so bad. They're so bad at conserving fuel, honestly. So wanted to go look for some lobsters and explain. Well, I haven't given my I guess I gave my review, but what I wanted to do was talk about some of the stuff that I don't like about this game. And that's kind of how the story, like, the way the story is handled. And it's basically like the nature of this game doesn't really lend itself that well to a linear, like, character-driven narrative like Xenosaga and Xenogears did. But, like, I mean, honestly, it's been a while since I played Xenoblade 1, but I thought it did pretty well at that. So, like, what's the deal here? I guess this one's, like, even more open world. But, you know, it didn't have to be. So, let me pick an issue to talk about, and I can finally talk about these things. Because I don't have to worry about spoiling it. Well, first, this isn't really an issue, actually, but it's something that I thought would be really cool. Some people complain and they say, like, there's no reason for you to create your own character in this game. It serves no point. And I mean, I think that there really isn't a point to it. It's just, like, it's cool to create your own character, and the fact that the game is open world and not very linear at all, it makes it so that's totally something you can do. So I don't have an issue with it. But there is no point to it. That is true. But, and I'm going full rewrite mode here, but I think this would be super cool, is that, so, like, your memory is like never, it's never explained why you have amnesia. You just do, and it's just like, oh, you have amnesia because, well, you can't really, it's just like, because you have to create your own, like, idea about what this character is. So saying they have amnesia, it could be anything. So it sort of lends itself to, like, OC creation, I guess. Let's search for some treasure, because I am having difficulty finding these lobsters. But I think what would be really cool, the twist, let's just get right down to it, total rewrite mode here. The twist of Chapter 11 should not have been that Lao is the spy. It's way too obvious. It's way too obvious. The twist of Chapter 11 should have been that you were the spy. Mind-blowing, I know. You should have been, like, a ganglion mimeosome that was planted in Starfall Basin for Elma to find, and, like, for some reason, and that would explain why, like, she instantly sees potential in you. I mean, the explanation is really just like, oh, because you are the video game protagonist and that's why she sees potential in you. But they could have kind of subverted that a little and be like, there's something that they did to you that made Elma want to... that they knew that Elma would, like, want to take you in and make you part of their team. You should have been, like, a ganglion infiltrator. You should have been built. There shouldn't have ever been a real you. You should have just been, like, a machine created for the purpose of infiltrating the humans. And I really like this idea of mine, because it would completely tie in to, like, the themes of previous games, like Xenogears and even Xenoblade 1, with how, like, well, I don't want to spoil Xenoblade 1, but the twist of Xenoblade 1, it would really fall into that and kind of, like, keep up those same ideas, because you should have been a ganglion mimeosome that was implanted, and you should have been leaking information involuntarily to the ganglion, and that's why they always know, and that's why they're always one step ahead. But you shouldn't have been able to realize it because you are you're a spy, but you don't know it. And you should have been, like, you should have gained your own sense of self and decided to, like, fight against your creators, because that's what Xenosaga, that's what the Xeno game is all about, is, like, this pursuit of individuality. I don't know, I thought it would be really cool. A really cool way to subvert the whole, this is why you don't have any memories, and also, that's why you don't remember you're a mimeosome, because you are programmed to not to think that you are a human. And that's why you don't realize that you're a mimeosome, even though you totally should have, because who doesn't realize they're a robot? You should have been programmed to not realize that. So that's my genius idea that would have, like, Lao should have been a red herring. He should have been, like, a double agent, that, was, like, pretending to... He was playing both sides, and he was like, yeah, I wasn't sure if I was gonna, betray the humans or betray you guys, but I decided to betray you guys because I found a new family with Lin, and I want to protect her, and you were the ones who killed my family anyway, so that's why I decided to turn against you. So, like, okay. So that's, I've been holding on to that one for a while, but I really like my idea. I'm not a writer, I'm not good at writing, but I came up with that idea, and I think it's really cool, and it's probably not that great, but I'm very proud of it because I don't do writing. Anyway, so, let's talk about the twist at the end of the game that doesn't... So the twist at the end of the game, is that, like... Well, there were multiple twists, but let's talk about the part about how all your original bodies were destroyed along with the Earth, and you're just kind of operating computers who are trying to recreate your own bodies. That's a really cool thing that could explore. They could explore, like, what makes us ourselves. Like, it is only because of the continuous. Elma says something like, it is only because of the continuation of your consciousness that you even perceive yourselves as yourselves. And we are all a different person day to day, so, like, all our cells are replaced over, like, 7 years anyway, so what's the difference between, you know, destroying your body and then just creating a new one? And that could have been something that the game could have explored. But nope! Because at the end of the game, at the very end, in the epilogue, you figure out that that's not even possible anymore because all the information was lost. Because, yeah, cool concept, they could have really explored it, but they were too focused on putting another twist in there in the epilogue. So, like, that shouldn't have been the end of the game epilogue twist. I like how they're just kind of appearing behind me. That shouldn't have been the end of the game twist. It should have been like, in the sequel, that's the twist. Of like, I don't know, a first act twist or something like that. Because when we go back to New LA and we start talking to people, nobody acknowledges that, and I guess we're just supposed to,
Here they come.
to like assume that nobody's told them yet. Like Elma doesn't know how to tell them that they're like stuck in their mimeosomes forever, because there's no way of like reproducing their bodies because all the information is lost. It's like,
Nice work, y'all.
I don't know. And I really do. You know what I don't like is how everyone like just instantly forgives Elma. And that's not saying that I hate Elma. I really like Elma. I think she's potentially a fascinating character. But she should have been presented as a lot more morally gray than she is, because the idea behind her character is that she is a compassionate person whose love for humanity is so great that she's willing to do anything to ensure the survival of the human race. And that means anything. That means lying to her friends. That means hurting them, withholding information. She was going to shoot Lin at the ending scene there. She was like, this time, if you don't get out of the way, I will shoot. And I don't believe she was bluffing. I believe she was being serious. She was going to shoot Lin if she didn't get out of the way. Because her desire to keep humanity going is so great, and there's a lot that you could do with that, but they don't do anything with that because everyone just instantly forgives her. They're just like, well, I understand that you did all you could. And this isn't even to say that I disagree with Elma. I probably do agree with her. Like, if I was in that position, maybe I would have made the same decisions as she did, but it's never actually acknowledged by the characters themselves, and we aren't actually given any time to ruminate on it because the game just ends. Another thing, Elma got to keep her body. She got to keep her body, and everyone else's body was destroyed. And I'm sure there's some explanation for that, like, oh, the algorithms that we use to create the mimeosomes are far different than the ones that are in her species, and therefore that's why we had to keep her body there. I don't know, some explanation like that. But the thing is that she didn't have to deal with the like existential horror of losing her body and like going around in a robot and making a new body. Like, I mean, Doug was pretty upset about it. She didn't have to deal with that conflict inside herself because she gets to keep her body anyway. And, like, I want to see someone confront her about that and be like, why did you get to keep our body, but we didn't? This is so easy for you, Elma, because you didn't have to deal with this conflict. You didn't have to deal, like, what do you care? And I want someone to, like, confront her about that. And maybe, like Irina?
Here they come.
Did you see Irina's reaction when she found out that she was an alien? She, like, kind of has a kind of, not disgusted reaction to it, but, like, she wasn't instantly, okay with it the way Lin was. And I think that would be really cool. Like, have Irina who, was so loyal to Elma this entire game, and so, well, she's completely whipped. So loyal to Elma, and so admiring of her, and have her be like, no, Elma, this is too much. You lied to us.
I'm on the right team.
I don't trust you anymore. And, like, just have our characters feel differently. I mean, Doug was pretty upset about it at first, but then she's like, yeah, but I did it for a good cause. And then he's like, well, yep, I understand. You know what's really cool is, and I talk about how Elma's a super interesting character, and that it's even more interesting when you compare her to Shion, because Shion would hate Elma. Shion would think that Elma's decision is disgusting. She talks about, like, that in Xenosaga a lot, about how, like, she can't stand the whole acceptable losses philosophy. She finds it, like just deplorable. And I think that's really interesting how these games have protagonists that have different opinions on this, but who aren't treated as entirely, like, good or evil because of that. It's kind of up for interpretation. There's a lot of that in Xenosaga as well, with, like, Shion, like, having this love for the Realians, or the Replicants, if you don't know, and believing in their rights and autonomy, and then making, like, some decisions that don't directly align with her stated beliefs about that, and it's really cool. And they could have done that with this as well, but again,
Sure. You can do this the hard way.
the open worldness of the game just doesn't really lend itself that well to it. I think I explained myself pretty decently. Okay, next thing. None of the characters in this game are fleshed out, except for Lin. Like, Lin is the heart of this game. She's great. She's very well developed for a video game character, but it's, like, so obvious how much depth is given to Lin in comparison to the rest of the characters. It's just, like, you can't ignore it. It's just like, she's the only fully developed character in this game. And I said this before, but... No, I explained, how I felt about the whole relationship with Lin and Lao, and, how they could have really done something with that, but they didn't. We're just meant to kind of assume. Explain that in my, Chapter 11 video. Let's work on recruiting Mia.
Here they come!
I'm not even paying attention to what I'm getting anymore. I'm just like, all I care about is the segment recon. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Soothing angel wings. think I have to kill that for a, an arms testing mission, which is so annoying. I hate those missions. You have to go around and, like, test stuff. I love this place. It's so gross and so pretty at the same time.